The teasers dropped, the fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down. A single message echoed across timelines, signaling the end of an era and the birth of an empire. I'm finally free.
Oh, chills.
Right. Welcome to StarScope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu waves, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
Yeah, and it really feels like we are standing at ground zero of just a complete industry overhaul right now.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we are looking at a story that has literally rewritten the rule book for what a modern idol can actually do, once their initial contract is up.
Yeah, and so today, our mission in this deep dive is to analyze a massive stack of sources to figure out exactly how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
We're digging into financial audits, charting data, some incredibly intense K-netz forum threads, and even academic journals from cultural researchers.
And heavy reading.
The heavy reading, yeah. We're unpacking the headline that basically broke the internet, which was Jennie's secret message to YG, "I'm finally free."
Wow.
So our goal here is to uncover the truth behind her unprecedented solo rebellion. The sheer mechanics of leaving a mega agency, and the massive ripple effects that are currently shaking the very foundations of the Hallyu wave.
Yeah, because to understand the sheer magnitude of this departure, we really have to look closely at the architectural blueprint of the K-pop industry itself.
Right.
According to this comprehensive academic study we read, titled The South Korean Music Industry, the entire system is built on an intense, highly centralized model of control.
It really is.
The industry was practically founded on what critics and, former trainees often refer to as slave contracts.
Yeah.
We're talking about young kids undergoing up to, 7 grueling years of preparation.
And accumulating massive trainee debt in the process.
Exactly, with zero guarantee of ever actually debuting. And if they do debut, the agency maintains absolute, unyielding authority over their predetermined image, their sound, and just their public behavior.
Oh, wait. Because I was reading through that same study, and there's a specific example that really tripped me out.
Oh, the 2014 one.
Yes. It points out that back in 2014, when rumors circulated about YG Entertainment's Park Bomb, the company's stock plummeted by about $8.50 a share over just a single month.
Yeah, just tanked.
I mean, I get protecting an investment, but how does an agency legally or ethically justify dictating an artist's entire personal life over a temporary stock fluctuation?
Oh, let's see.
It just seems like an extreme overreaction to typical celebrity gossip,
No, I totally get that. And from the outside, it absolutely looks extreme. But within the financial ecosystem of the big three agencies, so YG, SM, and JYP, the idols are not viewed merely as employees or even traditional artists. They are the core product.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Their brand reputation is directly tied to the publicly traded health of these massive conglomerates. Even a minor scandal can wipe out millions in market capitalization overnight.
Wow.
So that volatility is the fundamental reason these agencies severely restrict creative freedom. It's why they monitor dating lives and carefully curate how every member acts, down to how the machnai of any group is marketed to the public.
It's all calculated.
It's heavily calculated. The idol is a heavily insured asset. So to step away from that deeply entrenched ecosystem, especially when you are one of the most recognizable stars on the planet, is an unbelievable financial and professional risk.
And she didn't just step away to sign with a different, maybe slightly more lenient agency.
No.
She decided to build her own kingdom from scratch.
She really did.
She departed YG for her solo activities and established OA Entertainment.
Odd Atelier. And the financial structuring here is what really caught my attention. She retains 100% of the stakes.
Which is wild. Wild. Her mother stepped in as the CEO, and they bypassed the domestic distribution networks entirely to partner directly with Columbia Records for her global push.
And the sheer capital moving through this independent venture is staggering.
Yeah.
When we look at the financial audit reports detailed by Outlook Respawn, OA paid Jennie approximately $16 million over just 2 years of operation.
Oh my gosh.
Breaking that down, we are looking at 14.3 billion won in 2024 and 9.5 billion won in 2025.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because leaving a massive agency like YG is essentially like stepping out of a heavily fortified castle.
That's a good way to put it.
Right. Sure, you get to explore the wild, you get to breathe the fresh air, and you get to keep all the treasure you find. But you don't have those massive stone walls to protect you from the arrows anymore.
No, you do not.
You were totally exposed to the elements.
Yeah, out in the wild, you don't have the agency's massive PR department catching those arrows for you. When an idol is under a mega agency, they walk into a fitting room and the wardrobe is perfectly tailored. They walk onto a music show set and the lighting is already rigged by a team of like 50 staff members.
Yeah, it's a machine.
Exactly. As the sole stakeholder of Odd Atelier, Jennie internalizes all the profits, sure, but she is also standing directly in the line of fire for every single logistical nightmare.
Oh, for sure.
She is the one legally responsible if a filming permit falls through or a distribution deal stalls.
I mean, think about anyone listening who has ever left a super stable corporate job to go freelance or start their own small business.
Oh, yeah.
The upside is entirely yours, but suddenly you have to do your own taxes, you have to buy your own health insurance, and handle every single client complaint yourself.
Exactly.
Now multiply that stress by a global fandom watching your every move. But this newfound freedom didn't come without a heavy price. Wait till you hear what the Korean public broadcaster and global netizens uncovered next.
It gets intense.
It really does. If you love staying updated on your favorites, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead.
Yeah, because the transition from a highly protected idol to a fully independent artist is rarely smooth. We see this all the
We
time.
really do.
But the true test of that freedom wasn't going to be on a balance sheet or in a boardroom. It was going to be her first solo drop. And when she released her first track, we immediately saw what happens when the agency filter is completely removed.
Okay, so she is out of the castle. She's got her own label, her own money, and total creative control. Let's talk about October 2024, the release of Mantra.
Oh, yes.
The fandom had been starving for a solo comeback.
Right.
They were holding their breath, and visually, she absolutely delivered.
She served.
She served. The music video, directed by the incredible Tana Muino, was a cinematic masterpiece. It had that brilliant 1998 Rush Hour nod, the vintage cars, the pure unadulterated LA vibes, and the visuals were just fierce.
It was a massive stylistic pivot away from the traditional K-pop formula. And initially, the numbers reflected a very specific kind of global success.
Right.
Mantra debuted at number 98 on the Billboard Hot 100, which secured a solid footprint in the highly competitive Western market.
And domestic netizens were also hyping it up. It charted at number 41 on Melon.
Which is huge.
Huge. For those who don't obsessively track charts, aiming for that certified all-kill is always the goal. But hitting number 41 on Melon with a track sung entirely in English is legendary in its own right.
Yeah, it is incredibly rare for the domestic audience to push an all-English track that high up the ranks.
Meanwhile, international fans on Reddit were losing their collective minds. One viral thread crowned it a bi-anthem, heavily quoting the lyric that it makes you want to swing both ways. It felt like a massive cultural moment for her.
What's fascinating here is that it was a cultural moment, but a moment of that magnitude inherently draws intense microscopic scrutiny.
Oh, for sure.
Without the protective machinery and industry leverage of a big three agency acting as a buffer, the controversies that normally get squashed behind closed doors just hit Jennie directly in the face.
Yeah, let's look at the facts impartially here, because the pushback came from multiple angles simultaneously.
It really did.
First, there was the domestic broadcast issue. Chosun reported that KBS, South Korea's massive public broadcaster, outright banned Mantra from airing on their networks.
Yeah, the ban was officially due to a violation of Article 46 of their broadcasting review regulations. The lyrics specifically name-dropped commercial brands like Land Rover's Defender and In-Out Burger.
Right.
Because KBS is publicly funded, they have notoriously strict mandates against indirect advertising and brand mentions in broadcasted media.
I mean, I understand the rule, but isn't this something that happens all the time in K-pop?
All the time.
Usually an agency like YG would step in before the song even drops. They would either pre-negotiate alternative lyric changes strictly for the KBS broadcast, or use their immense industry leverage and relationships with network executives to smooth things over.
And that is the invisible shield of the mega agency at work.
Yeah.
They have entire departments dedicated to broadcast compliance.
Huh.
Odd Atelier, being a brand new independent label, didn't have decades of institutional leverage with KBS, so they faced the ban head on, and the song was just pulled from the public airwaves.
And the broadcast ban was honestly just the tip of the iceberg. Internationally, things got much more heated. News 9 Live highlighted a severe wave of backlash from Indian fans regarding the title and the core theme of the song itself.
Right.
The word mantra holds deep, sacred spiritual significance in Hindu and Buddhist traditions.
Yeah, we are looking at a highly complex intersection of global pop culture expansion and deep religious sensitivity here. Critics, including practicing Hindus and scholars, argued that taking a sacred Sanskrit term, a word meant for prayer and spiritual focus, and using it as the title for a glitzy, high-heeled pop track about partying in Los Angeles was a clear case of cultural appropriation and deeply disrespectful.
And this touched a particularly raw nerve within the fandom, because it wasn't the first time she was adjacent to this specific type of criticism.
No, it wasn't.
Back in 2020, during the BLACKPINK How You Like That era, there was a massive controversy when a sacred statue of Lord Ganesha was placed on the floor as a prop in the music video.
I remember that.
YG eventually had to edit the video after the uproar.
And reporting on this impartially, the discourse revealed a sharp, painful divide in how global audiences consume K-pop.
Yeah.
On one side, you have devastated practitioners of the faith who feel their ancient culture is being continually mined and reduced to a trendy, meaningless aesthetic for Western and Korean pop markets.
Right.
On the other side, you had fiercely loyal fans defending the artistic choice, with some prominent fan accounts stating online that ignoring the backlash and doing whatever she wanted was pure ITGRL behavior.
Yeah.
It became a highly polarized, incredibly toxic debate across social media platforms.
And then the debate over authenticity bled into the music itself. A massive, highly awarded deep dive thread on the Third of Prance subreddit tore into the entire era. Fans, even those who explicitly stated they wanted to support her independence, were incredibly frustrated.
Yeah, they were.
They pointed out the inauthentic use of AAVE, or African American Vernacular English, in the lyrics. Lines like leaving clues in the fitting room were dragged heavily.
The criticism there was that the phrasing felt manufactured. The Reddit users argued it sounded less like an authentic hip-hop influence and more like an AI generator attempting to write a trendy urban track for a pop star.
But the harshest critique wasn't even about the lyrics. It was about her live performance at the MMA Awards.
Oh, right.
I watched that 8-minute set. The fan on Reddit wrote, and I quote, "What stood out most was how much the backup dancers carried the entire performance. She either missed choreography or avoided full movements altogether."
Ouch.
Yeah. For a fandom that waited years for her to be free of the dungeon, seeing her heavily lip sync and seemingly lack energy felt like a betrayal. Was she just slacking off after a long hiatus?
Well, it is easy to look at a sluggish performance and assume a lack of effort, but we have to look at the mechanisms of what her life actually looks like now.
Okay.
When you are the CEO of a startup label, your day is fundamentally different. You are in boardrooms negotiating complex distribution percentages with Columbia Records. You are approving marketing budgets, interviewing staff, and dealing with international legal compliance.
That's a lot.
You aren't in the practice room for 12 hours a day, laser focused solely on choreography and vocal stamina anymore. That Reddit thread didn't just highlight a weak performance. It highlighted the immense, crushing physical and mental toll of trying to be a corporate executive and a top-tier pop star at the exact same time.
That's such a good point. When an idol is under a mega agency, fans can always blame the company.
Always.
If the styling is off, if the lyrics are tone deaf, if the choreography is weak, the fandom directs all their anger at the agency's management. But when you are the 100% stakeholder and CEO of your own label, the buck stops with you.
It does.
There is no shield, no PR scapegoat to issue an apology on your behalf. The accountability is absolute, and it is brutal.
Yeah.
And that's not even the wildest part of this solo era. Later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking plot twist at a massive Japanese festival that nobody saw coming.
Yeah, the events that unfolded there really prove how deeply intertwined an idol's legacy is with their origins, regardless of how much capital or independence they have acquired.
Okay, before we get to that festival disaster, we need to talk about the music that followed. Fast forward to March 2025. Jennie drops her full album, Ruby.
Oh, this was a moment.
This wasn't just a standard comeback. It felt like a complete intentional transformation from a highly produced K-pop idol to a gritty, independent musician.
The track list alone was a profound statement of intent to the industry. Like, she collaborated with SEA on Start a War,
Huge.
Dua Lipa on Handlebars, and Childish Gambino on Damn Right.
Why those specific artists, though? It feels very calculated to break out of the K-pop box and align with incredibly critically acclaimed, slightly left-of-center Western pop and R&B stars.
Oh, it was very intentional.
And we cannot ignore Like Jennie, which was a fierce, unapologetic diss track aimed straight at her imitators. She was serving pure, unfiltered confidence.
The strategy behind selecting those artists is actually heavily analyzed in this fascinating research paper from Archie and Matenio.
Right?
The researchers study a phenomenon they call glocalization.
Glocalization.
Yeah, it sends an evolutionary step beyond globalization. Globalization is essentially pushing one dominant, homogenized culture onto the world. Glocalization is different. It's taking highly specific, untrainable K-pop essence, the flawless aesthetic curation, the intense group dynamics, and a fierce resilience they term female universalism, and wrapping it in an American hip-hop and R&B package via Western infrastructure like Columbia Records.
Okay, so it's taking the Hallyu Wave secret sauce, that deep, cultural, tacit knowledge that agencies spend years drilling into trainees and exporting it outside of the traditional K-pop distribution networks.
Precisely. The opposite of abandoning her roots, she leveraged them. Hallyu content excels at capturing a specific type of feminine resilience and emotional depth that resonates universally with female fans across the globe, from Latin America to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Jennie took that Korean tacit knowledge and married it to Western hip-hop aesthetics.
And the evidence of that globalization working is completely undeniable on a massive scale. For anyone whose ultimate bias is Jennie, 2026 was a victory lap. She attended the 2026 Met Gala looking absolutely stunning. She was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people. At one point, she literally had 3 tracks from Ruby sitting on the Billboard Hot 100 simultaneously. It was total, undisputed global domination.
From a pure business and cultural positioning standpoint, OA Entertainment's strategy was a masterclass in how to transition from a regional idol to a global pop fixture.
So what does this all mean? She conquered the world completely on her own terms. But can an idol ever truly outrun the machine that built them?
That is the question.
Just when it looked like she had permanently rewritten the rules of the industry, the ghosts of the past showed up, and they showed up holding legal paperwork.
The legal realities of the music business are incredibly unforgiving, and they really don't care how many Billboard hits you have as a soloist.
So let's dive into the shocking plot twist from August 2026. Fans were geared up for her massive, highly anticipated solo set at Summer Sonic in Japan. It was supposed to be a crowning achievement. But just 30 minutes before she was scheduled to take the stage, reports exploded across Reddit and social media. Jennie was reportedly legally banned from performing any BLACKPINK hits during her set.
Just wow. It reveals the brutal, often hidden reality of intellectual property in the K-pop industry.
Yeah.
In this system, the agency almost always retains the trademark to the group name, the master recordings of the tracks, and the specific performance rights for those arrangements.
Right, they own it all.
Unless an artist buys those rights out, which costs an astronomical, often prohibitive amount of money, the former agency can drop a cease and desist at any moment. Jennie might be a free CEO, but the anthems that built her global platform, the songs her international fandom grew up screaming, are legally tethered to YG Entertainment's vaults.
How devastating is that?
Yeah.
Imagine standing backstage at one of the biggest festivals in the world, the crowd is chanting your name, and half your meticulously planned set list is suddenly wiped out because your former agency decided to flex their IP rights 30 minutes before you grab the mic.
It's heartbreaking.
And this tension wasn't happening in a vacuum. It was actively bleeding into the group's legacy as a whole, specifically with group activities being on an indefinite hiatus.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the timing of the Summer Sonic ban directly coincided with the highly anticipated BLACKPINK 10th anniversary event.
Right.
What should have been a triumphant, joyous celebration for the fandom turned into a deeply emotional, highly fractured reality check about the state of the group.
The anniversary lacked the massive global events, tours, or unified releases that fans expected. It culminated in a moment that truly broke the internet's heart, which was Jisoo, visibly in tears, publicly apologizing to the fandom for the lack of cohesive group activities and the messy, disjointed state of their collective milestone.
That moment perfectly encapsulates the agonizing tug-of-war at play here. Jennie is a multi-million-dollar independent CEO. She's a global fashion icon, a Billboard charting soloist, and a Time 100 honoree who controls her own daily schedule. Yet her legacy, her shared history with her members, and her very ability to celebrate her own past on a stage are still heavily controlled by the corporate machine she fought so incredibly hard to escape.
It is the ultimate double bind. You can buy your freedom, but you can't always buy your history. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update as this incredible story continues to unfold. Because the implications of this legal and cultural battle are just massive for the entire industry moving forward.
It fundamentally challenges the power dynamic that has fueled K-pop for decades. The big three agencies have always operated on the assumption that they hold all the cards, that the machine makes the idol.
Exactly.
Odd Atelier proved that a top-tier artist can walk away, take their massive brand value with them, and generate millions of dollars without needing the agency's infrastructure.
But it also proved that the agencies won't let you leave without leaving a few deep scars. The domestic broadcast bans, the sudden IP strikes at major international festivals, the immense crushing pressure of facing netizen backlash without a corporate PR shield. It is clearly not an easy road. It is a grueling battle of attrition.
It raises a fascinating question about the future life cycle of K-pop groups. We are witnessing a massive shift from collective group loyalty to individual brand power.
Yep.
The tacit knowledge that the agencies use to train these idols is now being utilized by the idols themselves to build entirely new competing empires.
It's like the students have finally become the masters and the original dojo doesn't know how to handle the competition.
Exactly.
Which brings us to our final thought for this deep dive. We've talked about the insane money, the historic charts, the cultural controversies, and the tiers. But looking forward, if K-pop's global expansion was built entirely on strict agency control and perfectly curated, highly protected images, what happens to the Hallyu wave when its biggest stars realize they are bigger than the machine? Will the undeniable financial success of Odd Atelier inspire a mass exodus of fourth and fifth generation idols to abandon their agencies and start their own labels? Or is the brutal backlash and legal red tape a giant warning sign to stay in the castle?
That is the multi-million-dollar question hanging over the entire entertainment industry right now.
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.